Yeah, always. Well, generally if one of my bands does a record, we work in a studio that's professional, and we have some sort of engineer. And so the engineer will often produce a little too. But most of the bands I'm in, I mean, we've been doing it long enough, we produce our own things. But there's at least someone there to sort of take care of everything. And I did bridge by myself in my studio at my house, which is a basement with no windows. And I did it over a 2-year period, periodically when I was home from touring. And I have a child and a family, and I have a lot of responsibilities, and I'm not home that often to begin with, so trying to justify being down there to my wife is not always easy. So it was very convoluted, to begin with. Just it was difficult just to concentrate on it. But it was also strange because I was going back to songs over months and months, revisiting songs, and then you don't have anybody there to tell you when to stop. So I had a really hard time with it. And then there's the technical side of things. I mean, generally when you're doing an album in the digital format, it's very easy to eventually have some kind of problem. A drive fails. Maybe you didn't back up well enough, or, anyway. So yeah, it was like, I'm not going to do another record like that. I mean, I went a little crazy a few times. And I think I lost a little bit of what kind of, it should come naturally in the setting of making an acoustic record. It should be very honest and pure. And if you spend too much time recording an acoustic record, you can overproduce things a little bit. So I'd like the next time to do a lot more live stuff. But I know more about it now. I think I'm better at it now. I got a new one. I'm doing a new record right now with a band called Bad Loud. But the Playing Favorites is kind of out, so I can always have 4 bands. So I just said, all right, I'm down to 3 again. I got to get a 4th. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I'm doing another thing now. It's, if you play music and it's what you love to do and you're passionate about it, you tour, you make records, but there's a lot of time when you're at home. And I think a lot of musicians are sort of, by nature, lazy. And I'm just the kind of person, I've always been the kind of person, I'm kind of a workaholic. And if I'm home, I certainly like to have a little bit of time to decompress and spend time with my family. And I spend a lot of time with my daughter, it's very important to me. But, then eventually I'm just sitting there waiting to the next tour. And I don't smoke pot. I don't have things to just take up my time sitting around. So I think that's why I end up starting other bands, because, I'm doing nothing. And I want to be making music. I'm not going to live forever, And other people that I play with, a lot of the times, they like to do nothing. It's just not for me. I didn't realize this was going to be such a tough interview. A lot of stuff. No, it's cool. That was just a kind of a one-off situation. Todd Capps was in this band Bad Astronaut that I had, and him and I actually, ironically, we were in the first bands that we were ever in. It was maybe my second, but one of the first bands I ever played in was with Todd when I was 12 or 13. I played drums, and he played piano in this cover band that we had, which was awful. And we were little kids, we played parties and stuff. And so we'd known each other forever, and I knew him well enough to know that he was, he's an extremely talented guy. And at some point, I think he just approached me after Bad Astronaut had sort of, ended. And he just said, we should really do something together. And anytime someone like that approaches you that's that good, of course, you try to do it. I think the issue for us is that he has a family, and he's very busy. He scores television and movies, and he has a... Hey, Jackie. Hi. See, I called Jackie.
Perfect.
I got it.
You got it right away. Sorry, don't want to...
Oh, no, it's fine. He was just so busy that we recorded something like 4 songs together, and it was over almost a 6-month period. And I was so excited about it when we did it that I committed all of my time to it. And the thing that I said earlier is very true. I just I don't do well sitting around waiting for people. And I think Todd didn't have as much time for it. So we just completed those 4 songs, and then that was that. We still talk about doing something else together, but, yeah, I don't know. But I thought it was good stuff. I like what we did together. I mean, he's amazing, that guy. Well, I'm doing this Bad Loud record. It's a kind of a rock and roll band. It's not punk at all, and not mellow, but I'm trying to just, I did this record with the Playing Favorites. It was sort of a rock record, and I think that the only thing about the Playing Favorites thing is there's 4 songwriters and 4 singers, and I write a lot of music, so I thought it would be nice to just do something where it was the same sort of music, but I was able to just do all my stuff. And I just also have played forever with many musicians, and I wanted to do a 3-piece band. I've always liked bands like Jawbreaker. I mean, some of my favorite bands have just had 3 guys, and so I've never had a chance to do that. So I'm doing that, and I'm really happy about it. Like, so far, we started recording already. It seems like it's going to be great, for me, And the Gimmies are going to do another record, and I'm going to do another acoustic record. I think 3 albums will be enough. Yeah. We'll see.